Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
Fargo was once a town of 600 that's grown to over 100,000 in the last century. Despite a fire that nearly wiped out downtown Fargo, it's persevered since the beginning. Buildings on Main Avenue and 8th Street South are some of the places that survived the 1893 fire. The buildings are subject to a compliant. Tenants in one of the buildings were ordered out because the space wasn't up to code.
Next door is home to the longest standing women's clothing store, Downtown Diva. However, the woman who's worked there for 31 years has closed the shop for good. She thinks the buildings are too old and says she's feared for her safety and everyone around it. City inspectors appear to disagree. Valley News Team's Callie Hubbard got an inside look of the building and tells us why some are concerned. It's a story you'll only see here on Valley News Live.
There is nothing that Marjorie Norris Thompson loves more than glitz and glamour.
It's the gym at 5, and then maintenance starts at 9.
She gets her hair and face done twice a week.
I actually sleep on pillows that are elevated, much like a corpse, only still breathing.
Can't forget the finishing touch.
We'd never have an affair because there would always be a trail of glitter in the house. I'm child-free by choice, but this store to me was a child.
Over 100,000 people have walked through Downtown Diva along 8th Street in Fargo.
I loved what I do. Go like this.
But behind the Diva showroom, it's not shiny earrings and martini glasses.
Fill it up until it weighs about 40 pounds of water.
She empties water from her second floor.
2 and 3 and 5 and 10 times a day, and I would come down here at 3:30 at night and try to save my showroom.
The water is coming from the big hole in her ceiling. This is what it looks like up close. She's had 2 sump pumps running and 3 tubs inside a kiddie pool.
I've been doing this for probably 25 years.
The basement isn't much better.
These are the walls. These are the bricks that are coming out of the wall.
Norris Thompson says her basement's been leaking for decades, not to mention the bathroom that was started but never finished.
This is wrong. This is just wrong.
Those are just some of the many problems.
This is hollow. Strips the ceiling coming down.
With the historic building. We did some digging and found out Downtown Diva, the business college, and the buildings in between on 8th Street South and Main Avenue are all owned by the same person. The structures belong to Frank Leland Watkins and have been a part of his family since 1884, surviving the 1893 fire that nearly destroyed all of downtown Fargo. While the building has passed city inspection, she believes without substantial repairs going inside her building could eventually mean life or death. After sending an open records request to the city, we found out that within the 3 buildings, 7 addresses, and multiple tenant spaces, only 2 permits were issued in the last 32 years for small work going on. We found out that steps away from Downtown Diva is another building owned by Watkins. The city posted this danger sign on 806.5 Main Avenue. Reports show the tenant living there was told to leave because it was unsafe. We asked the city why it was considered unsafe as Downtown Diva passed inspections. This includes energy, insulation, footing, and framing. They said the tenant living in the building next door was told to leave because the basement wasn't up to code. So we took it a step further, asking the city if we could get a walkthrough on why inspections passed in Downtown Diva and not in 806.5 Main Avenue. The city denied that request. We found complaints the city received about Downtown Diva. An anonymous neighbor said they noticed a funky smell and some fine dust in the air. They say since it's such an old building, they're worried about what's in the air. A customer named Eric Ead called the city to say he smelled sewer gas there. And as of now, Morris Thompson has sold 31 years of stuff and has left her building.
Don't rent it again until you fix it. Don't put someone else through this. Don't have an old lady up there bailing water in the middle of the night. I have a permanent shoulder injury from this.
Before the building falls down on her or anyone else. In downtown Fargo, Callie Hubbard, Valley News Live.
Watkins did get back with us saying he knows about the leaking roof in Downtown Diva, but said the tenant said she was taking care of it with a sump pump and said not to worry about it. Watkins says he's put a lot of money into the buildings and they're not ready for demolition. He says he's going to attempt to solve the roof problems now that she's gone.
It's back to school for students at the community high school in West Fargo tomorrow. Overnight, the frigid winds blew open the roof access hatch, letting Arctic air into the building, which froze a pipe, which burst. The 4 bathrooms and 8 classrooms impacted have been cleaned and the pipe has been repaired.
Unfortunately, it's been a story that's been rumored in our town for a while.
There's a lot of talk tonight in Detroit Lakes about today's arrest of a woman who stands accused of running a corrupt massage parlor in town.
60-year-old Jin Lan Lee is being held on charges including prostitution. Valley News Team's Courtney Lockie has local reaction.
It's kind of a relief to have a non-legit business taken down so that we aren't all getting a bad rap.
Barbara Steger has owned Barbara's Hair and Body Care in Detroit Lakes for over a decade. This kind of news hits close to home.
Massage is such a need, and it's so therapeutic that everybody should be getting them and feel safe that they're not going to have wrong things happening.
Steger says the news didn't come as a surprise, but that it's still scary to have something like this happen so close.
Because it's not okay.
News like this spreads quickly, especially in a town the size of Detroit Lakes. This woman says she parks her car in the same lot every morning before work.
That's absolutely crazy. It's unbelievable.
Holmes says she noticed what she thought was suspicious activity in the area, but never could have dreamt of something so awful.
I'm so glad because those girls are taken advantage of, I feel, and nobody should be in that position.
Authorities say so far Lee's been the only one that's been taken into custody from the massage parlor, but 2 other search warrants were conducted at locations that are related to the business, and the investigation isn't over yet. Live in Detroit Lakes, Courtney Lockie, Valley News Live.
Thanks so much, Courtney. Local law enforcement, along with several other agencies, including the Minnesota BCA and the West Central Drug Task Force, are investigating.
The long-running debate at the Capitol in St. Paul over insulin affordability has shifted to the state Senate. Today, patients and parents were urging senators to keep working toward a compromise between competing Senate Republican and House Democratic proposals. Those bills are currently moving through committees. Helping diabetics afford insulin is one of the main pieces of unfinished business left over from the 2019 session when a compromise fell apart at the end.
A mural honoring Swedish climate activist Greta Thunberg appears to be coming to Fargo. Former City Commissioner Mike Williams says he has received permission from a downtown Fargo business owner to put the mural in an alley where other artwork is on display. The move followed an unfavorable reception from people in Bismarck, which is the home of the artist, who came up with the 7-foot-tall mural. That idea was scrapped after social media threats of boycotts and possible vandalism.
Last year's record fell around 8 o'clock tonight. That's the current amount that's been raised during today's 13th year of Giving Hearts Day. This 24-hour event is big for almost 500 charities across North Dakota and northwestern Minnesota. The goal is to not only help the charities by matching some of the money donated, but to raise awareness of many charities and get people to dig deep and give to them.
We do have needs of people that don't get met, and that's where these charities step in and say, look, we can help. We can help provide the greatest quality of life in the world right here in North Dakota and Northwest Minnesota. If we get hundreds of thousands of people giving on Giving Hearts Day, can you imagine the quality of life in North Dakota and in Minnesota? It's unstoppable. It's unfathomable.
And it's not too late to donate. If you want to help add to the groundbreaking total, go to our app and click on this story.
A report shows the high cost of childcare is eating away at family budgets. Numbers provided by the nonprofit Child Care Aware find that in Minnesota and North Dakota, the average that you spend on daycare is about the same as you would on 1 year's tuition at a 4-year public institution.
I don't think any daycare, in my opinion, is really affordable. It's definitely expensive.
I think that the biggest misconception in our area, in the Fargo-Moorhead area, is that there is a major lack of childcare.
Schwartz adds that the area lacks high-quality, affordable options. According to Child Care Aware, more than 80% of a daycare's budget goes to paying employees who generally make around the minimum wage.
The Fargo Target may soon be your one-stop shop for everything, including liquor. An application has been filed with Fargo's Liquor Control Board for a store at the 13th Avenue South location. If approved, city ordinance calls for a separate entrance. The full city commission would have the final say.
Valley News Live 10 at 10 continues with no wait weather.
Well, it's been cold all day, sub-zero here in the FM area. We're 9 below zero. The coldest of the air shifted off week. Finally on Thursday, something to celebrate. Mid-20s out there. I don't know, cold enough for maybe some cinnamon pancakes in the morning.
We were just we were just pondering the slipperiness of the roads.
Is that what you're pondering while you're waving your arms while I'm doing the weather?
Something like that, yeah.
We were trying to
throw you off a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Fargo and serving you on TV, online and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
And the fact is, I didn't do it. I wouldn't want to do it. Right now, I'm going through a confusing time with all these charges and stuff. But yes, I loved her.
We begin tonight with breaking news as the man facing murder and homicide charges surrounding the death of a Fargo woman says he didn't do it. Sheldon Davis sits in the Cass County Jail, and tonight he spoke with Valley News Live.
He was arrested yesterday and is expected to be formally charged Monday with killing 52-year-old Denise Marie Anderson. Her body was found with traumatic injuries after a fire was put out in an upstairs North Fargo apartment. Authorities say that rigor mortis had set in. Valley News Team's Joshua Pagero spoke with Davis less than an hour ago and joins us from the Cass County Jail. Joshua?
Mike and Andrew, I want to tell you that I sat with Sheldon Davis inside that jail cell. We talked for about 30 minutes, and he came out verbally swinging. He was defiant and adamant that he never touched nor he killed Anderson. He says all the accusations against him are false. He claims to have never been anywhere near the apartment where police say she died. He faces murder and arson charges. Davis said they had only been dating for about 7 months, and that they actually went out the night before she died. He says accusations made by Anderson's son in an exclusive interview that we have just didn't happen. Davis wants his day in court to prove his innocence and for all the facts to come out. He called the experience confusing because he never expected to be behind bars. He's also apologetic for the family and friends of Anderson for what happened. We questioned Davis about his friend. Now, we spoke with his friend also in an exclusive interview who says Davis admitted to the killing. Here's what he had to say.
Your friend admitted or said that you admitted to him that you killed her. You saying your friend is lying?
Yes, I am. Even if I was guilty, I wouldn't do something like that. I would never admit to somebody like him that I'd done something like that. And furthermore, I didn't do nothing like that and wouldn't do nothing like that.
Again, during that 30-minute interview, we pressed Davis and told him about the interview that we had with her son, Nicholas Berlin, where he shared with us photos of his mother who was allegedly beaten by him. And he says that no one ever saw him hit her, although you need to be seen of hitting someone to actually have happened. Reporting live in the Cass County Jail, Joshua Pagero, Valley News Live.
All right, thank you, Joshua. To watch the entire jailhouse interview with the accused murderer, Sheldon Davis, go to valleynewslive.com and click on this story.
She said, if I die, Sheldon did it. It just seems like they just kind of gave up on her and let her go, and I think it was easier for Sheldon to find my mom.
The son of a murdered Fargo woman is struggling tonight to understand what went wrong. In an exclusive interview with Valley News Live, Nicholas Berlin says that the system let his mom down.
He referenced a history of violence involving Sheldon Davis, referencing the pain he caused his mom, Denise Anderson. Valley News Team's Courtney Lockie has more from Berlin and the problem of domestic abuse in our community. Courtney?
Beat my mom to death. He beat her unconscious the first time, then they beat her until she's gone.
Sheldon Davis's criminal history shows a pattern of abuse that includes violation of protection order, terrorizing, and stalking. Davis was in and out of jail and underwent psychiatric treatment. Documents show that it involved more than one woman and in some instances spanned over several years. That kind of violence can leave victims not only abused but feeling like they are trapped. The program director at the Rape and Abuse Crisis Center in Fargo says that before victims can get help, they need to understand what domestic violence is.
It's a pattern of behavior. It's coercive, controlling, intimidation behavior used to control the actions of someone else.
Mila Corbell goes on to say that red flags include controlling what you do, where you go, who you're with, and even where you work. In the Anderson case, her son indicated that the abuse experienced by his mom grew over time.
Kept escalating into, stalking my mom, following her, calling her work, smashing out her window.
Experts say victims wind up staying in a dangerous relationship, becoming trapped in an abusive cycle, something that Nicholas Berlin says happened to his mom.
She said, if I die, Sheldon did it. I was like, just baffled. I was like, why would you say something like that? Because it's just so out of this world.
Corbell says sometimes to be silent is easier than talking about it. She encourages victims to reach out.
People can come as they choose, but there's not conditions. If they don't show up, we don't call them. We don't reach out to them. We let people come here by choice.
This could have been prevented. My mom's death could have been prevented.
If you or someone you know is a victim of domestic abuse, there are many services out there that you can turn to. In Fargo, for example, the Rape and Abuse Crisis, Youth Works, and the YWCA are just a few options. Also, keep this in mind. The person needing help needs to seek help. In other words, they need to get in contact with the provider. Andrea?
All right, thank you, Courtney. We have links and phone numbers to all of those places she mentioned. It's on our website, valleynewslive.com.
A U.S. Marine is facing several charges, including murder in the death of Lance Corporal Riley Kuznia, the 20-year-old from Carlstead, Minnesota, who was killed after he was shot in the head at Marine Barracks, Washington, D.C. on New Year's Day. Lance Corporal Andrew Johnson is facing charges, including murder, involuntary manslaughter, and negligent homicide. Johnson, while on active duty, is accused of removing his pistol, pointing that pistol at Kuznia, and pulling the trigger in jest, shooting him in the head. He's scheduled to appear on August 22nd on charges.
Bemidji police are asking for help locating a 16-year-old. Skyla Barrett was last seen at 705 18th Street Northwest in Bemidji today around 12:30. Authorities say it appears that she left voluntarily. She is 5'3", 140 pounds, with brown eyes and black hair. She was last seen wearing a black shirt, multicolored leggings, and white sandals. Police believe she may be in the Red Lake area. Anyone with information is urged to call police at this phone number, 218-333-9111.
Moorhead police are asking for your help locating this man, 29-year-old Joshua Potter. Potter has multiple open warrants, including first-degree burglary. If you have any information on his whereabouts, you're asked to call dispatch at the phone number on your screen, 701-451-7660.
Pennington County is about to be the first county in Minnesota to let callers stream live video and audio to dispatchers when they call 911 for help. The technology will be implemented later in August, and it should help dispatchers make better decisions in responding to emergency calls, such as car crashes and domestic incidents. A caller will dial 911 on a cell phone within the Pennington County service area. The dispatcher can send a text message to the caller's cell phone if they want to take over the caller's camera. The caller has the option to accept or decline. The emergency dispatcher would then be able to see wherever the caller points the camera. Pennington County is among about 15 locations across the nation that has begun implementing the technology, which was developed by Israel-based Carbine over the last year.
After several decades, the Youth Academy is back under North Dakota's Highway Patrol. In the 90s, it was called cadet training, and only family members were allowed in. Troopers say they like showing the next generation what law enforcement is all about.
We can give people knowledge about other things, not just what everybody sees law enforcement doing on a daily basis. All the other little things that we do that sometimes people just don't notice.
More than 15 students participated this year and graduated today. The teenagers say this program helps them see what's going to the academy and how it could potentially be lakes.
Troopers continue to report traffic stops from the first 2 days of the hands-free law. Preliminary numbers show that in the first 36 hours of the hands-free law, troopers stopped 162 drivers for violating the law. An officer with the Moorhead Police Department tells us they are happily surprised by the number of people who are following the new law. Yesterday, they gave out 16 warnings and 2 citations.
Don't forget about your pets, especially during extreme weather conditions. Last month, police in Fargo say that they responded to 59 welfare checks. That's up from 37 in June on animals left in a vehicle. The average temperature was 81 degrees, the highest day being 87. They advise that it's never a good idea to leave your animal alone, but if you do for a short period of time, make sure a window is cracked open or the air conditioning is left on.
Valley News Live 10 at 10 continues with no wait weather.
All right, we had some spotty showers this evening, and as we take a look at our tower cam here, boy, look at that. A little sliver of the moon left, a few clouds out to the west of something for everyone.
Maybe we'll need a chance to dry out by then anyway.
Yes, and Mike can get his shoveling done.
Yeah.
Shoveling? How about just mowing? We'll just do mowing.
Stick with that
okay?
for now.
Yeah.
Later on Valley News Live 10 at 10, being a social butterfly could help prevent dementia. The latest findings after this break.
And on the go, this is Valley News Live at 9 on Fargo CW.
Everybody needs to be very defensive driving, go very slow, keep a lot of distance in between cars, and if everybody's watching out for everybody, hopefully everybody stays safe. It'd be great to have another few weeks, but hopefully it goes away quickly.
People living in the valley are preparing for the storm ahead as our falling leaves will quickly turn to falling snow. While some are fueling up their snow blowers and making sure there's a winter survival kit in their car, most of you are just anxious to find out when, where, and how much. Let's send it over to meteorologist Nathan Hopper for what's happening right now. Nathan?
Yeah, that when, where, and how much has been the question since Sunday when we first started tracking this potent early early fall storm, and we do have some timing at this time. Right now we're at the point where some cold air has moved in. If you've been outside lately, and some rain does approach from the south, snow approaches to our western neighborhoods, and then a sharp rain snow line. So the freezing temperatures will be straddling the Red River Valley. So rainy to the east, but snow accumulations to the west, up to 12 inches on Thursday alone. And then as we go through Friday, we have heavy snow with gusty winds up to 60 miles per hour, which will make travel difficult, especially in our North Dakota counties as we go through the evening. But look at this. We do have even a thunderstorm down there near Sioux Falls, but that moisture is pushing up from the south. The snowfall is out toward Bismarck, but we are seeing some flurries right now in north central North Dakota, again, as that colder, even colder than we have now, air is moving on in. And of course, our western neighborhoods where things will be a little bit on the dicey side through the next few days. There's that winter storm warning in effect through Friday morning. That warning means that winter storm conditions are imminent or expected soon.
All right, we'll keep us posted on what's happening later in the show.
Will do.
All right, thank you, Nathan. Whether it's a small amount or a major dumping of snow, being prepared makes it much easier to deal with. Valley News Team's Courtney Lockey went looking for those who are scrambling to get ready.
We don't know how much we're going to get, or if it's going to be anything like this. But longtime Fargoans tell us you have to expect the unexpected when it comes to North Dakota winters, and that it's good to be prepared, because this is the last place you want to be after the storm hits. Patrick Laurie is the power equipment manager here at Shields, and he's no rookie.
I've been here my entire life.
He says he shoveled snow growing up as a kid and now is as busy as can be selling snow blowers.
I'll just tell you this, business is good. Business is good, yep.
It seems like everyone else is too.
People are getting ahead of it. Last year with the weather as it was a hard thing for people to get in the end of it. So now people are coming in and they're buying equipment and they're making sure that they're ready for everything that's coming our way.
All of these snow blowers need repairs. There's another 200 outside waiting their turn. Patrick tells us they fix about 5 to 6 a day.
Well, I've been through a lot of North Dakota winters.
This Fargo native picked up his snow blower today and is a regular here this time of year.
Sometimes I haven't got prepared in advance and then you regret it. So this year was good to get it in here and get fixed.
These snowblowers have been on the shelves since August, and with the clock ticking, they're starting to go fast. Another key aspect of being ready for the snow is safe winter driving. When conditions get hazardous, adjust your speed to fit the weather, traffic conditions, and the condition of the road. Get a feel of the roadway. Try your brakes while driving slowly and adjust your speed to how much traction you have. And allow more distance between you and the vehicle in front of you, so if you do skid or slide, there's more time to stop safely. Mike?
All right, thanks, Courtney. And we've posted more tips for winter driving on our webpage. Go to valleynewslive.com. Here's another solid piece of advice. The Valley News Live Storm Team weather app features an interactive radar and alerts on the go, so you're never surprised when inconvenient weather hits. Just search VNL Weather in the App Store and download it for free.